Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. We are waking the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. Welcome, everyone. Happy Poetry Month. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about these interviews. I am Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. I also happen to be the lead author of 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing, where I gathered 30 of my fellow poets and asked them to share their brave words and poetry. I'm in love with this book, you guys. We're celebrating every single day of National Poetry Month with our authors. David is here today to help me do that. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Laura. It's great to be here.
So, first of all, thanks very much for being here today to help me celebrate one of my biggest passions. You guys, David McLeod is a certified master life coach who supports middle-aged men and women to clear unconscious limiting beliefs in order to transform their lives into magnificent works of art. David wrote chapter number 26 in our book. It's called Soul Sessions: Poetry as Therapy. And we're going to get right to it. David, I would love if you would read your poem for us today. What's this one called?
This poem is on page 285 of the physical book here. It's called Carpe Diem.
Awesome. The mic is all yours.
Okay, thank you. You didn't seize the day. You took no risks at all. You stayed there in the warm comfort of your bed, playing it safe, imagining what might be, what might have been. There you slept, reveling in dreams, letting your consciousness float on a sea of wishes and hopes, wondering why things were the way they were. You didn't seize the day. You ceased seizing seasons of opportunity long, long ago. The bed was too inviting. And where are you now? Silk-lined walls materialized when you weren't looking. They embrace you in exquisite comfort and keep you from falling into a world of pain. No fear now, only total safety and security, nothing to harm you, nothing to fear. Pay no attention to the subtle creak of hinges as the lid slowly closes to hide all the paths you didn't take.
Sometimes you guys read these and I'm like, I just want more. I sit there and I'm like, no, it can't be the end. This is a kick in the butt poem, David.
Thank you.
I love this poem for so many reasons. So, you guys, I think one of the things I want people to know about the why behind poetry for me is that it helped me connect with this deeper place that feels like a total expression of soul. And I feel it in David's poem. I feel it in all of our poets' poems. David, I wonder if you would share a little bit more about the why behind your process. Like, what do you want people to know about this?
Well, Laura, to be honest with you, I've been writing poems pretty seriously since I was about 12 years old. And it really kind of took a turn and became even more serious by the time I was in my early 20s. And I found that at first I was just writing because it was fun to write and to express, ideas in different ways and maybe find images that I could describe in my own voice. But after a while, I discovered that when I tapped into the truth of what was going on in my heart and soul, I was able to uncover aspects of myself that I might not have been wanting to look at before. And then when I started doing personal therapy, part of the request was to do a lot of journaling and keeping track of what was going on. And almost all of my journal entries, some of them were pretty raw and pretty meaty and not always pleasant, but every single one of them expressed an aspect of me that I really hadn't been willing to look at before. And so what I would do is I would take some of those ideas and rewrite them slightly to make them more poetic, so to speak, and to speak to the heart. You said something about connecting to the soul. Well, I think that poetry is a kind of language of the soul. So poetry tends to bypass the brain and go directly into the emotional center of who we are. And that's why I love it so much. Especially when, I get a poet who really knows how to minimize the total number of words and get down to a really beautiful nugget of truth. And that's what gets me going. I don't know if I answered your question or not, but that's why I do it.
You did. I'm just smiling because you and I have a lot in common about how we think about this and our process. It's beautiful and it's profound, really. This is game-changing, life-changing kind of stuff. So it's actually what David is talking about is the reason for this next piece today. In the book, I asked the poets to share a story about their poetry, to give the gift of their poems, but also to write a prompt for you all. So for our readers, our listeners today, so if you don't already have your notebook and pen, you might want to even pause this and go grab them, because David, would you please read the prompt from your chapter?
Sure. As you contemplate my poems, you may find yourself resonating with some of my writing. Take a few minutes to reflect by considering how you deal with your inner critic, how you bring compassion and forgiveness into your life, and how you want to be remembered for all the ways you show up. Remember, healing is an ongoing process for everyone, a pathway to wholeness, if you like. Find your voice and speak the truth that is in your heart so that you may experience the joy and blessing of incredible healing. Namaste.
I love it. I love the prompts, and we challenge you all to write, to you know use that tool. It is extremely therapeutic. Journaling is an awareness process. It's healing. So enjoy. David, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to help me celebrate Poetry Month.
Oh, well, thank you, Laura, and it's my pleasure to be here.
So, you guys, this is so much more than a book. And I want you to check out the book here and understand that it's a generous community of poet, authors, healers like David. So drop down into the show notes. I have David hooked up with his links, his website. Explore all the amazing things he is up to. We're going to talk about one of those things here in a second. Maybe you want to share a poem. We've got a couple of opportunities. We have the Warrior Love Facebook page. You guys can actually submit and let me share one of yours. I've got info down below about that. We're going to be doing volume 2 of the poetry book. So I've got info down below about that. David is leading an amazing collaborative book called Elder Wisdom. If that's resonating, drop down. I've got some information about that amazing project below as well. We have a lot going on around here. We want to help you share your brave words, and remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time,
Absolutely.
everyone. Thank you, David.
Bye.